The devil, I'm telling you, is out there to shape people's identity so that it would not glorify God, so that people wouldn't receive freedom and healing and walk in abundant life. In society, there are stereotypes. Certain skin color is a certain way, behaves a certain way, or has a certain income level, for example. If someone has a certain fashion style or a certain career, they're automatically gay or something. If you are like this, this makes you this. This is from the devil. This is the devil trying to shape people's identities to not be of Christ, but how he wants them to be. And so let me give you an example of this. People who identify as homosexual, and once again, here you hear the word identify. This is all over our society. What do you identify as? A child of God. What do you know? But people who identify homosexual, I've heard many, many stories. It seems like even most, they have a very similar story of a sexual abuse or molestation happening when they were young, when they were a child. What's happening there is when an abuse, when a molestation happens, we know that's an open door for the devil. So what happens is the devil knows what has happened, and the devil strategically can speak things to that child, even and sexual things. There's been people who've come here that have said that they've renounced sexual desires and thoughts they've had since a very young child. That's demonic. That's the devil coming sneakily in and speaking. Those thoughts and desires they had were not themselves. It was the devil coming in their mind, inserting those things that they thought were their own thoughts and desires. So there are some children who had these desires that felt very natural, but they weren't like natural. They were coming from the enemy in the mind through the thoughts. Speaking, you should like the same sex. Find that attractive. In different ways, the devil will try to mold identities in that way, in different ways, such as God didn't give every man the same tone of voice. All men do not need to have a very low voice. But society has shaped it this way that if a man has a little bit higher than voice than what they consider normal, that they're homosexual. What happens is the devil has put this in society, that if a person is like this, they must be this. And so therefore, even young children speaking these words over people. You're gay, you're homosexual. Speak these words over them. And you know there's power in the tongue. If that's spoken over you tons of times as a child, the child's going to think this must be true. And at the same time, the devil knows what's being spoken, so he strategically puts thoughts and desires in the mind, in the heart and the mind. This is how it happens. All having to do with the devil influencing identity through people's words, through how society is, and through children and adults not knowing how the devil comes sneakily through the thoughts. Your thoughts are not all your own. So many of your thoughts and desires are sent from the devil. It's not your original thought, your original desire. But when you accept them as your natural thoughts and desires, when you accept the words spoken over you, you are allowing the devil to form this identity over you, where it really, fully feels like you. So this is what we have going on in the world today. The devil influencing people with their identities, not knowing what's really going on, thinking that it was just naturally, it's just how I'm born. It's just how I was created. I've been this way since I was a child. Well, the enemy's been working. There could be generational curses, is why he was able to speak such things, or open doors happen at a young age. The devil is sneaky, and he is out to mold people's identities. So we have to be very aware that we are not of the world at all. We are not adopting the devil's influence over our identity.